McBride was an all-star for the 5th time in her career as Boston goes backdoor to Hull, working on Williams. Hull gets it to go, and a foul.
Career high for you tonight. How'd that first half feel, especially with 18 and just 20 minutes of play?
I mean, it obviously feels good, I think, for me, just playing with confidence. We're missing people, so everyone's got to do a little bit extra, be a little bit more aggressive offensively. So that was my mindset going in, and obviously it feels good to see the ball go through.
Lexie Hull just had the game of her life. The Fever had momentum. Then everything came crashing down. Not only did Indiana give up a massive third-quarter run, but they also lost 2 more key players, Chloe BBY and Odyssey Sims, adding to an already brutal list that includes Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Colson, and Ari McDonald. That's now 6 rotation players gone, leaving the Fever dangerously shorthanded in the middle of a playoff race. There was resilience, no doubt, but frustration overshadowed it. Post-game, Stephanie White praised Hull for staying aggressive, while Lexie herself delivered raw, honest words about stepping up with the team so depleted. At the same time, questions swirled about the coaching choices that once again let a halftime lead slip away. So, what exactly did Lexie Hull say that has the entire team fired up? If you support Lexie and the Fever, drop Lexie Show in the comments. Let's go.
Right here in Indianapolis, back in July. Oh, looking inside for Boston. She will launch and knock down a 3. Lexie Hull's hit a pair. End of that game, but foul line continues to flummox Smith here this year. Here's Hull backdoor, puts on the brakes and lay it in. It's a Lexie.
Lexie Hull's breakout performance turned into the unexpected heartbeat of this game. On a night when Indiana's roster was stripped down to its core, she delivered the best showing of her young career, dropping 23 points on 9 of 16 shooting, including 4 of 7 from deep, while logging nearly 37 minutes. Against a Minnesota squad stacked with depth and experience, Hull looked completely unfazed, stepping into the moment with confidence, poise, and purpose.
Lexie, did you come into tonight kind of expecting to play darn near the whole game just with the injury situation and then the personnel available?
Damn, you played 37 minutes.
I mean, you played a lot too, Kels. What did you play? 35. I mean, yeah, we're down people, so gotta suck it up, play a little tired a few minutes, and take in those timeouts as best we can. But yeah, I mean, we're down people, so everyone's got to do a little more.
Yeah. For you offensively, was the plan to kind of try and get some looks inside early to get yourself going and then start working from the outside, or was that just kind of how the game set itself up?
Just to read the defense, you know. I think I got some really good passes on the back cuts, and that's a testament to my teammates, you know, finding me but keeping moving.
From the opening tip, Hull played like someone determined to be more than just a role player. Her early threes barely touched the rim on their way down, and she kept Minnesota guessing with sharp backdoor cuts that created easy looks. WY halftime. She had already poured in 18 points, carrying much of Indiana's offense while the game was still in reach. This wasn't garbage time scoring. These were pressure buckets that set the tone.
In Chloe Bibby's absence, you'll likely see a lot of Turner on the floor here today as Lexie Hull launches and hits. It's a 3-point parade. Going in. Here is Hull. Look how aggressive Lexie Hull has been here in the first half. That was her 8th shot. Lexie Hull with all the confidence in the world. Petty, wide open. Oh, yes!
What made her performance stand out wasn't just the total points, it was the way she got them. Hull refused to be one-dimensional. She sprinted through open lanes, crashed the glass, and forced defenders to chase her all night. Indiana leaned on her more than ever, and she showed she could handle it. This wasn't luck. This wasn't just a hot shooting streak. Her energy and assertiveness gave the Fever the emotional lift they desperately needed.
16 in the first half for McBride. Hull catch and shoot, knocks down another. 18 for Hull. That is
for a stretch in the first half. The Fever looked alive in a way they haven't in weeks. Hull was drilling jumpers. Kelsey Mitchell was creating offense. And the bench erupted after every make, like they were on the verge of something special. Fans watching could feel it. The confidence Hull played with was contagious, sparking real belief that maybe, just maybe, this team still had a punch left to throw.
All tonight, career high for her, just especially effective there early on. What were you seeing from her performance?
She was aggressive. I mean, she was hunting shots. She was aggressive to the rim. You know, she knew we needed another scorer on the floor, and because of the attention that Kelsey and AB get, she was getting free and she was hunting shots, and that's what we're going to need from her.
But that spark wasn't enough to cover the cracks around her. As great as Hull's night was, one player alone can't patch the holes left by a roster gutted with injuries. Indiana needed her to be a hero, and she delivered that. But the weight of everything else caught up fast. That second-half promise ran into the same problem that's defined the Fever's season: health. The only reason Hull's big night stood out so much is because of just how thin the roster has become. The injuries have come in waves, leaving this group barely holding a rotation together. Caitlin Clark has been sidelined since July 15th with a groin injury. Sophie Cunningham went down with a torn MCL that required surgery. Sydney Colson's year ended with a torn ACL. Ari McDonald was shut down with a foot injury. That's 4 players gone before this game even tipped off. And then, in just one night, things got worse. Chloe BBY felt soreness in her left knee during warm-ups and was held out as a precaution. Odyssey Sims exited in the 4th quarter and never returned, now awaiting further evaluation.
Turner with the offensive rebound. Hull is wide open and knocks.
That sequence left Hull as the only regular wing still standing, forcing the Fever to cobble together lineups on the fly. BBY's absence meant they lost one of the few forwards who could balance the floor, while Sims' injury took away their only veteran point guard. Indiana had no choice but to hand heavy minutes to young guards and recent hardship signees. When Sims called for a sub late, Shea Petty, signed just days earlier, had to step in and essentially run the offense on a 7-day hardship deal. Even BBY herself was only added earlier this month. The roster is paper thin, and nights like this expose it.
Just obviously Chloe Bibby, a late addition to the injury report. Just when did that injury happen, or do you know the severity at this point?
Felt something during pregame, and so holding her out as a precaution. We don't know anything, so hopefully we'll get some more information tomorrow when she can be seen.
Had she been dealing with any soreness or anything like that in previous days, the week leading up to tonight?
Yeah, I think everybody's dealing with soreness at this point in the year. But yeah, I had been dealing with a little bit of knee soreness, and again, just want to make sure that we're cautious and figure out what's going on before she gets out.
The ripple effects were obvious. Hull logged extended minutes as the lone wing option, while Brianna Turner and Michaela Timpson were forced into tough matchups far outside their natural roles. Possessions turned shaky as unfamiliar guards struggled to initiate clean sets. By the 3rd quarter, fatigue hit hard. Simple ball movement broke down. Aaliyah Boston fought for position inside, but passes came late, off angle, or not at all. Coach Stephanie White admitted afterward they're still trying to integrate 2 new point guards midseason, and the disconnect showed. Plays that once flowed with Clark now ended in rushed jumpers or unforced turnovers.
About Odyssey, after I think she left the game and didn't return, is she injured? What's up with that?
Yeah, no, we don't know anything yet. She's going to get evaluated tomorrow, so we'll see.
With regards to Odyssey, do you have any ideas of what it was she tweaked? Was it a groin or any?
I have no idea. I just heard her say I need a sub, and so I got Shea up there.
The toll carried over to defense as well. With extended shifts and mismatched lineups, legs grew heavy. Rotations came late, and Minnesota punished every breakdown. The sense around this team feels fragile. Fans and players alike know every new injury is another hit to already slim playoff hopes. Still, they're trying to rally in small ways. The MVP Kelsey shirts worn pregame served as a spark of pride, a reminder they haven't stopped fighting, but pride can't replace bodies. And that meant the burden fell squarely on the remaining core, with veterans and newcomers scrambling to plug holes that kept multiplying.
I don't think you want to play Lexie 40 minutes. How can you handle the wing without Chloe tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to do it by committee. Bree Turner can guard 5 positions, so she'll be out there defensively. We've got to try to manipulate lineups a little bit more to figure out who we can stretch the floor with. So we're probably on the floor at the same time as Didi in a lot of things that we do. But again, if it's not going to be spacing the floor in the half court, we've got to be able to get our defense to create some offensive transition opportunities. That doesn't always have to be steals for scores, but we've got to get missed shots that allow us to get out, run out, and try to create some things.
Even with everything stacked against them, a few players still rose to the moment. Lexie Hull stole the spotlight with a career-high 23 points in 37 minutes. But she wasn't alone. Kelsey Mitchell powered the offense with another commanding performance. Aaliyah Boston anchored the paint the best she could. And newcomer Shea Petty gave them an unexpected jolt in her Fever debut. Together, they formed the backbone of a team fighting to stay afloat under impossible circumstances.
My goodness, I was taken back. It was fun. It was funny. I was very humbled. I was grateful for my group. I love the people I play with, and to know that they would go out their way to make something like that happen for me, it means a lot more than people know, because I have been here the longest. I have, everything that people talk about, I have been, and to know that my teammates kind of like see me as, I have value somewhere, and I feel like they make me feel like, I'm important to them and vice versa. And so that value means everything to me. And anybody knows me, I'm a loyal type person. And so I'm going to forever look at them like forever friends after something.
Mitchell once again played like the engine of this group. She led all scorers with 27 points, added 5 assists, and drilled 5 of 7 from 3, forcing Minnesota to account for her every trip across half court. Before the game, teammates honored her by wearing MVP Kelsey's shirts, a rare public show of recognition for the franchise cornerstone. Mitchell admitted afterward how much it meant. "They make me feel like I'm important to them, and vice versa. That value means everything to me." With Clark out and the roster battered, she backed those words up by refusing to let the Fever fold, even under heavy defensive pressure.
Managed everything so well, and not only are the players resilient, but she's been resilient.
And so too is Kelsey Mitchell, who knocks down
in transition.
Boston and Carlton collide. No whistle either way. Mitchell fires away.
Boston's stat line wasn't explosive, but it was steady. 15 points and 6 rebounds across long stretches without much help in the frontcourt. Her consistency gave Indiana some presence inside, though critics noted her defense lacked the dominance expected from an all-star. Still, given the razor-thin margin for error, Boston's ability to battle through fatigued minutes kept the Fever from being completely overwhelmed in the paint.
First place in the league. The only team that has already clinched a spot in the playoffs. Obviously, we know there's others. And McBride just reads it and eats it up.
Mitchell launches and knocks down a 3. It's Mitchell's fault.
Hull's hot hand, Mitchell's leadership, Boston's steadiness, and Petty's debut gave the Fever flashes that looked like they might punch above their weight. It sparks a compelling question. Which of these role players deserves more minutes as the season continues? Still, the reality is those sparks weren't enough to flip the outcome. Indiana's downfall didn't come from who stepped up. It came from what unraveled after halftime. That's when all the momentum they'd built was ripped away, and the night shifted beyond recovery.
Here's Boston backing her way inside, spins, fades, fires, and hits. A rebound a moment ago from Jessica Shepard. Third quarter, they are shooting 61% on the night. Boston pulls down the offensive rebound, and
the collapse wasn't just about players running out of gas. It exposed how coaching, or the lack of it, can swing an entire game. Indiana went into halftime with the lead, but Minnesota blew the doors open right after. The Lynx outscored the Fever 32-7 in the third quarter, erasing everything from the first half and flipping control in minutes.
Second half, and that overtime.
Well, we know she can heat it up.
Oh, Petty shaking off Carrington, and she hits her first shot with the Fever. It's a corner 3, and Indiana's opened up 4 for 5 from the 3-point. Fever on the night are shooting 69%. Look at Turner running the floor like a guard. Kick out Petty. Oh, yeah!
Minnesota's approach was simple but lethal. They spread the floor, attacked in straight lines, and hammered the offensive glass. Indiana had no answer. Rotations came late. Box outs disappeared. Aaliyah Boston was stranded under the rim against 2, sometimes 3 bodies. Possession after possession, the Lynx earned second chances and rhythm jumpers that broke the Fever apart. The lack of adjustments was glaring. Coverages stayed the same, pressure stayed light, and Minnesota took full advantage. That's where the spotlight turned to the sideline. Once again, fans and analysts pointed to head coach Stephanie White. Another strong first half, another post-halftime collapse, and no visible changes to the plan. This isn't a one-off, it's a pattern.
Mitchell slicing through, handoff Boston, who lays it in.
Kelsey Mitchell has to make decisions right now.
The field, they're 9 of 21 from the 3-point line. Boston spins inside, and she's got back-to-back buckets.
Afterward, White didn't dodge it. She admitted there were breakdowns in personnel D, and pointed to turnovers as a turning point. She also noted Indiana is still integrating new point guards who barely practiced with the team, leaving both ends of the floor disconnected. That adds context. This isn't only about slow adjustments, it's also about survival, with players learning roles on the fly. Still, patience is wearing thin. Fans see Boston trapped under double teams and closeouts, always a step late, and opponents dictating every third quarter while Indiana never seems to counter. Yes, injuries make things harder, but frustration builds when the same flaws repeat game after game.
Ryder slow to get up on the other end. It's 4-on-4. 2 more for Boston. Eddie looking inside, finds Hull. Boston, deep position.
Time is running out. Indiana sits in 6th, but as Athlon reported, they're just half a game ahead of 7th and 1.5 clear of 9th. That's the danger zone. Every loss like this chips away at the playoff window, and the margin for error is razor thin. So the question falls to you. Is this on the coach, too slow to adjust, or on a roster too battered to judge fairly? Tell us where you stand below. Because while this chapter brings more doubt than answers, one player's performance offered a storyline worth holding on to.
Lulls that you obviously mentioned just now, and how you guys want to make those lulls obviously not
Shorter.
as bad. Just what can the team do on the floor? What can you guys as a coaching staff do in the moment to kind of break those up?
Yeah, I mean, some of it's timeouts. Some of it's substitution matchups, although we don't have a lot of those. And some of it's just attention to detail. I mean, championship teams, their attention to detail throughout the course of 40 minutes is there for the most part. And we're learning how to do that.
Lexie Hull's career night wasn't just a box score spike. It showed what this roster could be if it were whole. Fans finally saw her step into the spotlight. And alongside Kelsey Mitchell's 27 points and Aaliyah Boston's steady 15 and 6, there were flashes of a foundation worth believing in. Still, urgency is real. The Fever face Minnesota again on Sunday, and back-to-back losses could erase their fragile playoff cushion. Lexie gave fans reason to believe, but belief isn't enough. They still have to prove they can finish. If you support Lexie and the Fever, drop a Lexie show in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out.
Players bust their ass. Like, they battle every single game. And they just, it's a couple minutes here and there. You got to play a 40-minute game. But this is a special group of women, man, with what they've been going through and everything that they've had to continue to overcome, and to put ourselves in position. It could have been real easy to fold in that third quarter when they broke it open. To put ourselves in position, to come back to compete to win a ball game. I mean, it's no matter what it happens, win or lose. The roots that this group is forming culturally, the roots that they're forming in terms of competitive spirit and what it means to compete at this level. I mean, those are what allow us to withstand these storms. And the numbers tell a story, but their hearts and their character tell another. No matter what it happens, win or lose, the roots that this group is forming culturally, the roots that they're forming in terms of competitive spirit and what it means to compete at this level. I mean, those are what allow us to withstand these storms. And the numbers tell a story, but their hearts and their character tell another.